What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Q Branch subsection of the channel. I'm all about positivity on this channel, but sometimes when it comes to franchises, you got to talk about the things you don't like. And today we're going to be talking about the 5 worst Bond girls on the planet. And I know Pat's going to be pissed that I don't have a specific one at number one.
I mean, I don't. I think I know who you're talking about. She's not my number one either, but she's definitely on the list.
Yeah, she's on the list. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Good.
Yeah, so we're gonna give our top 5 Bond girl, or top 5 worst Bond girls, I should say. I don't have any
It's like
honorable.
it sounds like it should be a good thing at first, like top 5, then it's like absolute worst.
Exactly, right? Right? Exactly. Because everything we like about a franchise, there's always something you don't like about a franchise.
Especially one that's lasted like half a century, you know?
Exactly. Exactly, right? So,
Yeah.
we're gonna get into the list. Do you have any honorable mentions or dishonorable mentions? I don't
I
really I
do
couldn't think of any.
I do have a dishonorable mention, mainly because I find her to be really forgettable.
Okay.
Do you remember, I have it written down, Strawberry Fields from Quantum of
Oh,
Solace?
I forgot about her.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought she's, super not memorable, no chemistry with
No.
Daniel Craig,
No.
really bad part of a really bad movie, so I put her on the list.
Okay, there you go. I actually like I was going through like all the movies. I was like, who's in what movie? I was like I totally forgot about her because I only think of Olga Kurylenko as
Olga Kurylenko,
Camila, yeah.
yep.
And even she's not that great.
No, but she's, like, at least a character.
Exactly. Yeah, like the only character in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I don't have any dishonorable mentions. So we'll just go 5 through 1. We'll do our least favorite last. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is Kissy from You Only Live Twice.
Ah, okay. I don't have her on
Uh,
the list.
Mainly because I hate that the whole movie pretty much you spend with Aki, and, like, it seems like
And
she's the
Bond gets
main.
Yeah, and then Bond gets married to Aki, and then Aki dies, and it's like, oh, here's Kissy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think doesn't he marry Kissy? Is he gonna marry Aki and then
I thought he married Aki, and then Aki
and
got
then she died? I
yeah.
couldn't remember. I was trying to remember if
It's one or the other.
I feel like Aki gets killed before the wedding, and then Kissy comes in and becomes, like, the fake bride.
Okay,
I think
okay.
that's
I
but,
think that's
like,
what happens.
that's my main problem with it, is, like, you spend the whole movie with Aki, and she's, like, pretty good. She has a
I love
decent act.
Aki.
Yeah, and then Kissy kinda just replaces her after she dies. They don't mention Aki again, and Kissy's just kind of a boring, nothing
Yeah, it's
character.
like, yeah, you
And, like,
remember that character you follow for the whole movie? Yeah, like, don't even worry about it. Here's this new
yeah, the one that's better and has more chemistry and is more interesting, and then Kissy
Yeah,
shows up and she's just there. I'm like,
yeah,
"Eh." I don't know. I don't like Kissy very much. I think
uh,
she's blah.
yeah. You know who else I don't really like all that much?
Yeah,
Mary Goodnight from The Man with the Golden Gun.
right. She might be on my list later, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I just feel like this is like a stereotype of the dumb ditzy blonde. Like she makes so many stupid decisions, like getting in Scaramanga's car when the car flies. There's literally a flying car in Bond. I still can't believe
Hell
that.
yeah, there is. Hell yeah, there is.
I know. But like she's also just like wicked annoying. She's trying to vie for Bond's attention at the same time that he's trying to hook up with Andrea Anders and all that. Like she's just in the way too much for me. And
Yeah.
and like I said, she just makes dumb ditzy decisions, and I'm just like, "Why are you in this movie?" So,
Yep.
mhm.
Yeah. I might have her later, but yep.
Okay. Alright. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Jinx from Die Another Day.
I might have her later.
I'm sure you do. I think I'm not a big Halle Berry fan in general
I'm not
overall,
either.
but I think this is probably her worst performance I've ever seen. Like, it's there's
Worse
no
than
chemistry.
Denise Richards?
Well, no, wait, her worse than Christmas Jones?
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I'll explain why later. Uh, and by that I mean, do I consider Denise Richards worse?
Yes.
That's what this whole worst thing is confusing me because it's like
I know, I
you're
said yes,
better
and
at
I was
being
like, "Wait a
worse.
minute, hold on, no, I don't mean that."
But no, Jinx is, I mean, she's just so cringy, so many terrible lines, so many terrible, like, performances, just, like, the obvious, the infamous "your mama" joke when she's being, captive.
Who sent you?
Your mama.
And she told me to tell you she's really disappointed in you.
There's
I'll talk
her and
about that
Pierce.
later.
Her and Pierce's flirtation is terrible. There's no chemistry. They were clearly setting her up to be like her own spin-off movie, which thank the maker that never happened.
Did Halle Berry get pissed that it never happened like she did with the
Probably,
Storm movie?
probably. I don't know. I just never liked Jinx. But the thing that keeps her from being higher on my worst list is that she's in a really bad movie where pretty much everyone's bad. So I
Yeah,
can like sort of I don't think she brings the movie down that much because the movie's already not really good at all. Like so like there's already a lot of bad things in it. So
yeah,
she's
but
just another
you can
bad
at
thing.
least laugh at how bad she is, though.
Yeah, because I mean, Die Another Day, it's a stupid, entertaining movie. It's bad. It's real. It makes Toby Stevens bad, which I'm like, how dare you? Toby Stevens is amazing. But like, I don't know, Jinx is just cringy and bad, and her fight at the end with the what's her Miranda
I'll get
Ferrara.
into. I'm pretty much gonna echo everything you say later on, but I need to
Yeah.
add one thing when I get there. So
Okay. Yeah.
okay,
So she's my number four.
okay, my number four. I know you're probably not gonna be too happy with me with this because I know you've had a Diamonds Are Forever renaissance, but
Yeah, man.
I don't like
How
Tiffany Case.
how dare you?
I really do not like her. I've never liked the vibe that she gave me the first time I watched this. I've never really liked her chemistry with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
And then the ending, like I could probably have kept her off this list if it wasn't for the ending on Blofeld's like rig there, where
Yeah.
she literally hides the tape in her big like how stupid do you have to be? That's literally the theme of these like 4 and 5 for me, like how stupid they are. And I just like she's not very memorable for me either. Like I'm surprised I even remembered her, you know? Um I don't know. I don't have much to say because I don't like Diamonds Are Forever. I don't remember Diamonds Are Forever all too much. I try to block that one out. It's not like the For Your Eyes Only effect for me where it's like I like it and then it's immediately forgettable. I'm like, no, I forget it because it's bad. So
Winton
yeah.
Kid forever.
Maybe I'll come around on it one day, but every time I watched it the past few years, I haven't liked it and I really dislike her.
The thing with Tiffany for me, why I don't have her on this list is I think up until you write the rig, I think she's kind of cool. Like she's like a cat burglar type character. Like she's kind of a thief. She wears different wigs and different now. Like I think she's kind of
Yeah, I
cool.
don't like any of that.
I think it's like up until I think she's kind of formidable as like a smuggling kind of movie, like about diamonds and stuff. But I do think yeah, once she gets to the rig, she becomes in like just a damsel in distress and becomes stupid. But I think the earlier stuff counterbalances that for me, where I'm kind of like she's pretty good up until like later on.
You just killed James Bond.
Yeah, like that stuff's funny. Like,
Is that who it was? I've just never vibed with her. So
yeah. I mean, I think what's her name's worse in that movie.
plenty
Plenty
O'Toole.
O'Toole. Yeah,
I'm
I think
plenty O'Toole.
she's just not in it enough to even like
You know who that is?
uh uh
So you know who
General
Natalie Wood
what?
was. You know who Natalie Wood was, right?
I know the actress. What was she in?
Like Rebel Without a Cause and all that.
Oh,
Like
okay,
all
yeah.
those. That's her sister in real life.
Oh,
That's Lana
okay.
Wood. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Kind
Okay,
of
I
a
remember
waste. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't really count Plenty O'Toole though because she's in like 2 scenes.
yeah, oh, yeah, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, Diamonds is underrated. Diamonds.
All right, you're number 3, and if I swear to God, if you put Madeline Swan on this list,
I almost did, Alex.
did you?
I thought about Madeline because I
The
thought
I
I don't like her at
if
all in
if
Spectre.
okay, if it was only Spectre, I would have her on the list.
That's what I was like. I was literally
But
in my
then,
bathroom
but I
thinking of
liked
my
her way
list.
more in No Time to Die.
Yeah. I was going through every movie going, okay, who is the girl? Do I like her? Is she on this list? And I went Madeline Swan and Spectre. I went, I don't like her in that movie. And I
Yeah.
was like, she's not good. And then I was like, okay, she's better. She's a little bit better in the next movie. I still don't understand why Bond fell head over heels with her. I don't understand that. That romance does
Yeah,
not
she's
make
kind
sense.
of. I mean, I look at Leia Sadu and I'm just kind of like, yeah, you're just kind of bland.
It's just the character's so boring. You go from Vesper as like his like love
Okay,
to then
are we
her.
counting? Are we counting this as 3.5?
Probably. I mean, I probably would have put Madeline at like 5. She wouldn't be like super high on this list, but
No.
she
I don't
might
yeah,
be there
that
if it
well,
was just
that's the
Spectre.
thing, like, if we were just like I said, if we were just talking about Spectre, then yeah, she'd be on the list, but No Time to Die, I think, kinda bumped her up a lot for me
Yeah,
In the Bond girl ranking where she's kinda, like, somewhat towards the bottom, but closing in on the middle of the pack, so,
sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that movie kind of forced you to, like,
yeah.
appreciate
It
her a
did a
little
way
bit
better
because you're like,
job.
"Look at all these emotional scenes with the daughter as Bond dies,"
Well,
and I'm
not
like,
only
"Okay, fine."
not only that, but, like, even before, like, at the beginning, like, like, even when they're in Matera at the beginning, I bought it more that
Yeah,
Bond would
then
actually
all of Spectre.
yeah,
Yeah,
like, in literally 2 minutes, a
yeah.
2-hour and 45-minute movie, I bought it more. So, alright.
Yeah, so so my number 3, my actual number 3, uh, well, it's your favorite holiday, Dr. Christmas Jones.
You know what's shocking?
Is she
I
your
have her
number
lower
3?
than you.
Really?
Yeah.
And there's 2 that I put over her, but she's awful.
Are you here for a reason? Or are you just hoping for a glimmer?
Oh, yeah,
Denise
I agree.
Richards was terribly miscast, and why she's above Jinx for me is simply because World's Not Enough is a solid movie to me. It's like a middle of the pack solid Bond movie,
Mhm.
and, like, the reason it couldn't be, like, a little bit higher maybe in the like, she's awful. Like, every scene she's in is terrible, it's not believable.
Are you
Her and
here for
Bond
the view, or are you just looking for a glimmer?
yeah, it's terrible, and, like, her and Bond did, like, the pipe thing, and she's just like, "I gotta
Well,
shut down the
that's a weird
reactor!"
action scene anyway, so
I hate every scene she's in, and, like, the worst part is she stands out so much because you have Sophie Marceau, one of the best villains in all of Bond, right there, and she's already in the movie as, like, the fake Bond girl, like, early on,
yeah.
immediately a million times better
Well
of an actress, of a character, everything. And then, like they make a complex character like Electra King, and then the same people go, "We're gonna have a nuclear physicist named Christmas Jones." Like, okay, this movie doesn't make sense. Like, we have a
well
serious thing happening over here,
okay.
and we have that over there.
Okay, I'll say this. So, like, when I actually proposed the idea of this video to you, I was actually saying, hey, let's just rank all the Bond girls, like the main ones. When you get to the World's Not Enough, it's kind of a tricky one because they're both kind of the main ones up until a certain point.
Right, I consider Electra to be a fake main one who's like the
Okay.
twist villain, you know, where it's kind of like Frozen, where you
Yeah.
think maybe the main dude is Hans, but then it turns out he's the bad guy. But yeah, I don't know. She just stands out so much and brings the every time I watch it, her performance is so terrible. You could tell they cast her because it was like the late '90s. It was
Yeah.
Denise Richards. She was hot. She was big. She was all over the
They
place.
wanted to
And
put her
like
in like the skimpy Tomb Raider outfit.
we're gonna put her in the Tomb Raider outfit. We're gonna have her in like a purple dress. We're gonna have her in a wet T-shirt as the submarine's going down. We gotta stop the reactor. Like it's terrible, but like everyone else in the movie is like really good overall. Like Pierce gives a good performance despite the amount of freaking innuendos he's talking in this movie, and Robert Carlyle, despite the fact that I think Renard's kind of a
Welcome to
wasted
the
character,
Devil's Breath.
he's a good actor, so he's still there. Like, and you got R.I.P. Robbie Coltrane, he's there,
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
got Denise Richards standing over there. And I'm like, what are we doing? Judy Dench gives a good performance. Then you cook pans over, and Denise Richards is standing next to Bond, looking like she has no idea what's happening. I'm like, I don't know. She was bad. She was bad.
I'll get more into her in a minute because she's not my number 3. My number 3 is Stacey Sutton.
Okay,
James!
she's my number 2. Yeah.
I yeah, like, literally, you look at her compared to Roger Moore, she could be Roger Moore's daughter, for Christ's sake.
That's the thing too. I hate Stacey. Man. Stacey
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah, ugh,
Like,
means
a character that's only there to just hold on to James, like, "James!" I'm like,
exactly,
every scene,
exactly.
I feel like it's just her breathy, "James! James!" I'm like, "Stop, stop," and then you add in the fact that she does in the age gap listen, she's a consenting adult, he's a consenting adult. If you have an age gap in your relationship and it works for you, fair enough,
Fine,
whatever.
yeah.
that's cool, but for me watching the movie, it takes me out of it where
Roger Moore is like pushing 60 in that movie. She's like
I
20.
don't buy for a second that these two are actually interested, and like maybe he's interested in her, but it comes off in like a creepy way, and she's just kind of a terrible character.
I like another part of it for me too is it's like the second half of A View to a Kill. Like I have A View to a Kill is really like, kind of like a guilty pleasure Bond movie for me.
Yeah,
But the second half of that movie when they're in San Francisco is like the most forgettable part for me. And she's a big part. She's a big part of why, because I feel like in that moment or in those scenes, they're really trying to Americanize Bond, and she's like the personification of this is an American Bond girl. Like we're trying to really shove it in your face that Bond's in
yeah.
America, you know. So and then obviously like the constant screaming. All right, so she was your number two. My number two is Christmas Jones. Basically everything you said. Denise Richards, like she'll say her lines and then her face will just go stone cold, like it's a brick wall. She'll be like, I remember that scene where I think it's right before they go on the submarine. They're in like right after the caviar factory scene too. She's like pointing to something on the map. She's like, "This is where it's gonna be," and she's just like, like the instant personification of bad acting. Like I get it, like, and you're right. They weren't aiming very high for this role, especially since they were considering other actresses like Tiffany Amber Thiessen. It's like that wouldn't have worked
Oh,
either. Yeah,
it wouldn't have worked, but man, I loved Tiffany, man.
I
I
know
was
you did.
oh, that would have
But
been
you know what?
amazing.
But you know what though? She probably could have made the role a little bit better, even if you still had her name be Dr. Christmas Jones, and like it's a stupid name, and like you got Electric King over there. Like that's the thing. It's like you look at Electric King, and then you look at Christmas Jones. It's like one of them, like one of them outweighs the other. It's definitely
Oh yeah.
Electric King.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Christmas feels like such an afterthought in that movie because it's like
Yeah.
it's all about Elektra and stuff, and then
Listen,
it's like
listen.
Christmas
You
is
know,
just there tagging along.
listen. You and me may go back and forth on the world is not enough and tomorrow never dies, but the one thing we agree on is that Denise Richards
Tomorrow
sucks.
Never Dies is better. What?
um, you pretty much summed it all up. I mean, like, and then like, I don't believe her as a nuclear physicist. The dialogue that they're giving her, like honestly, and I'm gonna talk about this when I talk about my number one. Like the dialogue that they give her, I'm like, why is that type of dialogue coming out of Denise Richards' mouth? Because it
No,
honestly, it's really not terrible dialogue. It just sounds terrible because it's Denise Richards.
yeah, I don't. Christmas is bad. She's a bad
Yeah.
character.
So, well, who's your number one then? Because I really thought she was gonna be your number one.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I mean, I agree with what you said earlier. Mary Goodnight is atrocious.
Oh wow, that's a shocker.
I
Ooh,
love Man with the Golden Gun. That's like one of my
that's a
favorite like
shocker.
silly Bond movies.
Yeah,
But like, she's easily the worst part of that movie. Like, it
yeah,
isn't even close.
easily,
Like,
easily.
she's like, and they do like the reason I have her below like Christmas or like Stacy Sutton even is like Mary Goodnight is supposed to be like a trained
Field,
operative.
yeah, field operative.
It's
Yeah,
like she's supposed to be good at this. And like Jinx, while cringy, was like capable at times, you know? Like, whereas Mary Goodnight would literally bump into things that cause like
yeah, she was a klutz.
shit to happen. Like she's klutzy and like I'm like, what? Like she's
Because of
supposed
her, the entire world almost got destroyed.
yeah, like it's like so bad. And her performance I think is bad. I think her and Roger have no chemistry, but
No,
listen, as charming as Roger Moore is and was, um, I don't think he often had great chemistry with his co-stars, which
yeah,
might be a hot take, but I don't think Roger, for being known as the charming Bond,
yeah.
had great chemistry. I'm thinking right now, who did he have great chemistry with?
Maud
Maybe,
Adams, maybe.
yeah, maybe Maud Adams is the closest, but
Yeah.
like besides her, like him and um uh what's her name in Live and Let Die?
Jane Seymour.
Jane Seymour. No chemistry. Like him and Barbara Bach. not really. As great as that
With
movie
that,
is,
I think it was existing with them, just maybe not to the full extent as they were intending to.
I don't know, but him and Brett Eklund,
Oh yeah, no, no,
no.
yeah,
And she's
no,
just such a like, every time I watch that movie, it's like, it's, like, fun and silly,
yeah.
and then that's, like, overboard stupid. Like, some of the things they're having her do, like, some of the slapsticky like, I can vibe with that movie when Bond's getting his butt kicked at a
Oh yeah,
karate academy. I
yeah.
can vibe
That shit's awesome.
him and JW Pepper are, like, doing the spin, there's the whistle, and, like, I can vibe with all that
Yeah,
silliness, the
yeah,
goofiness. It is what it is at the for the times,
yeah.
but her stupidity is I don't excuse that as, like, a thing of the times. I think it's just annoying.
And plus too, the best written Bond girls are the ones who are like smart, are capable.
Yes.
They're not the klutzes like that, you know.
No. Yeah, I like ones that can, like, I believe are, like, equal, at least sort of can stand on the same footing as Bond in conversation or
Exactly.
but she's supposed to be a field operative, she's terrible. Like, it
Yeah.
just
Exactly. So my number one is Jinx. I
I
hate
mean, I am not surprised. You
I
made
hate
her
Jinx,
for
and
heaven.
this is the reason I dislike her more than Christmas Jones. Okay, because yes, Denise Richards is horrible as Christmas Jones, but you take you don't even have to cast like you don't even. I mean, you could cast anybody else. Like we were just saying, Tiffany Thiessen, and even she can make that role probably better. But you take somebody who is at least a capable actress, take that dialogue, take that same character. I get that there's nothing really to the character of Christmas Jones, but you can at least make something out of it and make The World's Not Enough better than it already is. With Die Another Day, Halle Berry's an Academy Award winning actress. Okay,
That's true.
and she's awful in the movie. They're giving her awful dialogue no matter who you cast. She's going to be awful anyway. She has the aim of a stormtrooper. She's going up the hill trying to shoot at Zhao, trying to get in the helicopter. She misses him like 6,000 times. And then they're giving her like the stupid line delivery like, "Yeah, mama." And she told me to tell you she's very pissed off at you or something. I'm like, "No, like see that dialogue would have been written anyways, no matter if it was Halle Berry or somebody else." And
Right.
that's my problem. That's why I put her above Christmas Jones because I believe like yeah, the nuclear physicist jargon that you give Denise Richards, yeah, it sucks. But like I said, take somebody else, put them in that role. They'll make it sound somewhat plausible. You take somebody else and put it in Jinx's role, and then it still won't sound plausible because she'll still have the same asinine dialogue. I don't know where I'm going with this. I just like her less.
I'm just looking at your poster and I see Jinx as you're shitting
Yeah.
on her.
Ugh. Yeah. Like I I don't think she has any chemistry with Pierce Brosnan. Honestly,
No,
I'm not
no.
huge. Yeah. Like I'm cool with having them. Why wasn't this Felix Leiter? Like I'm cool with having them bringing in like another like female agent, but it's from the
Yeah.
NSA, and then Michael Madsen's her boss or something,
Hey, leave Mr. Blonde alone.
and then but like, why wasn't that Felix Leiter? That should have been the CIA or like somebody that worked with Felix. That's what it should have been. It should have
Right.
been there should have been a passing line be like, "Hey, Felix is out of the country or is on an assignment or something, but here's his protege or something." You know, I could have
It's funny.
probably bought her more if that was the case. Or in the Brosnan Bond verse, we don't have Felix Leiter, we have Jack Wade. So if you said that that was
Oh, yeah, we do.
yeah.
Remote.
So even if you said that that was like Jack Wade's like protege or something, then I would have bought it. You know?
They should have had her show up wearing a Hawaiian shirt and been like, "That's Jack Wade's
And
protege."
then and speaking of, don't even get me started on how they have her fucking come out of the water like Ursula Andress because it's an anniversary movie and they want her to be like, "Oh, here's fucking Ursula Andress as Honey Rider. You got to do the same thing." So yeah,
What do you mean? Die Another Day definitely doesn't just riff off every other Bond movie ever. Yeah, for me, I think it's funny that both Worlds Not Enough and Die Another Day are 2 consecutive movies where the, uh, the villain Bond girl is, like, a million times better than
yeah,
the
crazy.
like, Miranda Frost isn't great, but compared to Jinx, she's, like, amazing.
I know, right? And it's like again, like it goes back to it. Like I expect Christmas Jones to be bad if you cast a bad actress like Denise Richards. I would expect somebody like Jinx to be good if you cast a good actress and they didn't, and the character's just written horribly anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think you made a good point that Halle Berry is like a much more highly regarded actress than Denise
Yeah,
Richards.
that's
Like
why
she
I put
has won an Academy Award. Do I agree she would should have won the Academy Award? No, not
no.
particularly. But, like, I agree though that I think
and
she was
and
high,
plus, and,
higher
and
regard.
plus two, the fact that her whole character was supposed to be popular enough to get this entire spin-off universe that thankfully never fucking happened.
Can you imagine?
Oh, dude, it would be Halle Berry every 5 years. Well, I'm competing with James Bond here, Not to,
Oh my god.
sorry for the stereotypes, but
I just don't think I think it would have helped me though if Jinx had a series of movies where then she would have been
that's the
less
thing.
available. Sure.
That's the thing, dude. 007 Legends is a terrible James Bond game. But when I like the
Yeah.
Jinx in that game more than Halle Berry, that's saying something.
Yeah, Jinx is pretty bad. I'm trying to think of other Bond girls that were kind of just like wasted, and Monica Bellucci comes to
Yeah,
mind.
definitely, definitely.
She would
I
have been
agree.
great. Like she could have been really cool, like to
I
have
agree.
besides
She was
Daniel
great.
Craig.
She's great in her like one scene.
Her one scene. I remember she's in all the advertising, and then she's like barely in the movie. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. And it turns out she just was the widow of the dude Bond killed at the beginning.
Yeah, it's like okay, what a waste. Monica Bellucci could have been a great Bond girl
I
in like
kind
a
of, I
billion.
kind of think, I kind of Severin from Skyfall. I kind of feel like, but at least there's like something there, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it helps that the main focus of the movie is like definitely M. So
Yeah,
like getting rid of Severin just kind of felt like more of like a way to show how terrible what's his face Silva was.
yeah.
Yep.
Especially since you saw her die too. Um,
Yeah,
ever Mayday, I would say Mayday's up there
that's worse.
as like one of the worst. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Mayday.
that's
I
kind of a
yeah,
weird. That's kind of a weird conundrum because she's bad for most of the movie and then she turns good at the end.
right. Yeah, I don't hate Mayday. I think she's not one of my favorites or anything, but
Yeah.
I think all the Dalton Bond girls are pretty good.
Actually, hold. I don't really like what's her face from the Living Daylights.
Are we gonna fight?
Kara.
Stay away from her, Cello.
I just think she's bland.
How dare you? Listen, she's not great, but I believe her in the role they have her as like a completely innocent person that's
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
oblivious to all the spy shenanigans, and she just wants to play her cello, and she's dating a terrible person, and like I'm sorry, John Barry did all the work, man. That theme between the two
oh,
of
I
them.
know.
Du, 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 du,
Dude,
du,
John
du,
Barry
du,
is a
du,
master when
du,
it comes to
du, du.
movies.
Oh,
Yeah,
when they have that music playing, I totally buy it. I don't care if they're on the carriage ride, they're on the Ferris wheel, that music's playing. I'm like, this is the most romantic Bond movie of all time. Great, she's
did
great.
you
I
hate? Did you
fucking
hate
dare.
anybody? Did you hate anybody in License to Kill? I don't mind.
No,
I don't
like
mind Pam. I mean, Pam's kind of
I
annoying, but
don't mind.
I don't mind her.
The only thing I don't like about Pam is how they have her immediately sleep with Bond in that speedboat like 5 minutes
Okay,
after they
that's
met.
another. Okay, going back to Jinx, that's another thing. Immediately
Yeah.
sleeps with Bond.
Sure. But like at least Jinx and Bond, like the first things they say to each other are really cringy flirtations. Whereas Pam seemed like she wasn't at all interested. And then they're stranded on a speedboat. She immediately said, like, okay, didn't you just get shot? Like, did you just get shot like 2 seconds ago? Like, I don't know. I love License to Kill, but yeah, but I like Pam overall, but that's always been like, this is weird. And then
Yeah.
what's her name in that movie? I think she's fine too.
Lupe.
Sanchez's girl. Lupe, yeah, she's pretty good.
Yeah,
But
she's
I
fine.
don't think
I give her. I always kind of take her out of the conversation for worse because I'm like, yeah, shit happened to you.
right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's at least that where it's like
Yeah.
there's
It's like
more
I don't want
happening to it.
I if I say that she's one of the worst, like I feel bad because I'm like, no, you shit happened to you. I don't want to say that you're a bad character at all. Like I feel
No, I
bad.
don't think she's
No,
yeah, I think
I
she's
never.
her and Paris Carver to me are similar, where they're not great characters on their own, but like
Ooh,
as like the type of character that's like
that's my
been
dishonorable
victimized.
mention. Paris Carver, my dishonorable
How
mention.
dare you? She's been tormented. She has an interesting history with Bond. They have more chemistry than Pierce has with most of his co-stars. I'm gonna say it. Like
Hey,
most of his
leave
co-stars.
Natalia and Xenia out of this.
I'm thinking Natalia and Pierce, yeah, they have a little decent chemistry. Michelle Yeoh and Pierce, no, I love Michelle Yeoh, but there
Yeah,
isn't really
no.
anything there. But that's fine because the characters don't really. It's not
Which is
that
which
big
is
of a
which
thing.
is weird that you're saying that Terry Hatcher and Pierce Brosnan have chemistry because I don't think Pierce Brosnan liked her that much.
Which is fine. Sometimes that
Yeah.
happens. Stephen Salvatore and Elena Gilbert in the Vampire Diaries in real life did not like each other at the time. um, yeah, yeah. Pierce and her, I think it helped them. They have such few scenes, but in those few scenes, you fully buy that they used to be lovers. She's pissed at him. She's still sort of into him. He's still sort of into her. She's completely hostage to her freaking terrifying husband. Like
Yeah.
I think it works. I think she's solid. Some of the Connery ones, a lot of
I've
it I
never been a
took back
fan
on.
of I love From Russia with Love, but I've never been a fan of Tatiana Romanova.
Yeah, she's not great. A lot of it is though the product of the time, like
Yeah.
as far as female characters being
Yeah.
written well. I think the first great Bond girl is Diana Rigg.
Yeah. I agree.
I think
She's up there.
fantastic.
Yeah. We gotta do like top 5 best or just rank all the or at least like maybe top 10
Like,
best because she would be up there. She is up there.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we're done roasting women,
Listen, there are more great Bond women than not great. And I'll also say the Bond series has this, I think, unfair reputation by people that don't watch the movies of like, oh, all the women in it are treated terribly. I'm like, do you know how if you listen to interviews with these actresses,
Yeah.
there's so much like they feel so honored to have been a part of this franchise,
Exactly.
to have some of these characters who are damsels supposedly are like kick ass,
Right.
stand up to Bond, especially as
Not
the series progressed in time, like from like the late '80s forward. So many Bond women are strong and independent and badass and can
n-
stand
n-
side by side with Bond.
not only that, but I think the problem with people who don't watch the series is they're like, it's sexist. It's just women in bikinis. This is like Playboy Light. And it's like, no, it's not that.
No, there are definitely moments of that, especially early on.
Exactly.
But like, but a lot of it is people don't look at it as these are time capsules, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, the views towards women back then were not
Especially
great.
those
So
Roger Moore ones when he's just slapping women all over the place.
Connery and Moore sometimes I'm like, okay, guys, okay, no,
Yeah.
like not okay. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's you gotta look at it in that viewpoint of these movies did come out yesterday. Some of these
Exactly.
movies are old, you know.
And
Like,
then you have the other end of the spectrum where everybody's like, "Oh well, it's 2024. There's strong, independent, kick-ass women in Bond. I don't like that. Go back to like the bikini women and all that." I'm like, this has been a thing for decades, guys. It was like when Nomi showed up in the last one. They're like, "Oh, a black 007. Oh,
Nomi was great. All that uproar, and she was just a solid part of the movie. Like,
exactly."
she wasn't.
No,
She
nobody
wasn't
was nobody
an
was nobody was in an outcry over Paloma, you know, because it's Ana de Armas and she's in a dress.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, and people saw the trailer, which the trailer made it very clear that this isn't like they were acting like Bond himself has been recast as a black female character. I'm like, no, it's obviously a 007 designation, like because he's been
Ex-
out of the game. For, like,
well,
that's-
because there's still people that didn't pay attention to Skyfall and are still like James Bond is just a code name. I'm like, no, 007's the code name. Go to Skyfall and see his parents' graves, okay? That proves the
Yes.
theory wrong.
a lot of stupidity. But yeah, this was the worst.
A lot of stupidity, just like how some of these girls are written in this that we named in this video.
Yeah,
So Pat, where can they find you?
you can find me on Twitter at this Pat guy and my YouTube channel Agamotto, where really now it seems like I've just been talking about Bleach. Eventually, I'll have videos about other things.
That's all anybody's interested in.
I mean, it's been fun. I've been reading it for the first time and talking about it, but yeah,
Nice.
Then maybe, yeah, as I progress through that series, maybe I'll have more time to talk
All
about other
right.
things.
You can find me in my official website, alexmaddenmovies.mystrikingly. All my social media links are there. I have a plethora of reviews that just came out this week. Twisters, uh, My Spy 2, Long Legs, The Acolyte, which I've been getting some hate on. But but yeah, you can find those. I probably won't have anything up next week because I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con. Depending on when this video is posted, this could be
Dude,
posted after.
that's exciting.
Yeah. So,
Are you gonna try to get into the Marvel panel?
yeah. Yep. So, all right. That's it for us, guys. So we'll see you soon. Thank you for watching another episode of Q Branch.